I was tagged in this woman's Twitter post. She posted this man's video that is talking about religion. And her caption says, religions. It's always been a competition, hasn't it? It's always been about being the religion with the highest numbers, the influence, and the power. Later, some sheeple will come here to tell me that Christianity is not a religion. I'm waiting. Bring a dictionary with you. So then she posts this man's video, and this man is I'm not sure what country he's from, but he has an accent. I'm assuming he is in Africa. He's talking about polygamy and having multiple wives and having a strong father influence. That is what is going to create a bunch more Christians. And it literally is just kind of gross to me. But we, in practicality, know that it is the woman, the mom, that is the one that is typically the caretaker. And typically, culture goes through mom. And typically, more women are in the church. So I don't even know what this man is talking about, but I am going to play the clip.
Looked at the numbers. No matter how efficacious our evangelism is, just by procreation, if we continue the way we are going, we will not be the number one religion in the world in the next 50 years by numbers. First and foremost, polygamy, you don't believe. You marry one wife, you say you want only one child, only two. Listen, let me tell you something. When a man believes, his entire lineage is more likely to believe. That when Cornelius received the gospel, everyone in his house, wife, children, even servants believed. Statistically, if the woman is vibrant spiritually, it is not as powerful as if the man is. It's a privilege that you have. Listen to me, man. Your life is more important than 10,000 sermons for your children. We have more ladies in this church and in the body of Christ generally, more serious with God. I want you to be serious with God. See, we need to have more men's meetings in this church. We're going to plan it. Somebody will marry 5 wives, have four children, each of them. You say, God's will is one wife, and you're right. Then with the one, you are still arguing. Is it one? Is it two? Help me preach to the person by your side. Say, have as many children as possible. God said, I will multiply you. You shall not be few. You think it's just your career influence that he was talking about? I will multiply you. Have as many as possible, then adopt as many as possible. God will provide.
I've already talked about the fact that I am agnostic. I was also born and raised in the church. Granddaddy was a deacon. My grandmother, one of my grandmothers played the organ. My daddy is heavily in the church because my granddaddy was. My mama volunteers at the church. Everybody's in the church. But that doesn't mean that just because your family is in the church that a person is going to stay. And a lot of people are leaving the church for one reason or another. Having a strong father influence of your daddy being in the church does not mean that you're going to stick and stay. It just really doesn't. This person says, interesting. Irene's math ain't mathin'. After all, my parents are pastors. Now, 2 of their kids are atheists. Oh, that's actually the OP. She says, 2 of their kids are atheists. They are on our matter. They are sincerely amazing parents, so I feel for them, but there's nothing I can do about it because their religion is just false. So the OP is like, get somebody else to do it, basically. This person says, have as many as possible. God will provide. That's how they propagate generational poverty, birth kids into poverty. Even when they become wealthy, the poverty riddled ones will attempt to pull them down by having more than they can care for because there's a rich uncle somewhere. And that's the thing. I don't like it when they talk about God will provide. Well, and then they talk about blessings, no, I'm sorry, favor ain't fair. And there are some people that are sitting on piles of money and some people that are food insecure. So why do some people get the blessings and some people get nothing? That's one of the reasons why I don't believe in all of that talk about blessings and favor ain't fair and all of that, because what did some children do to deserve to go hungry? I just don't like it. But that is me. And that's one of the reasons why I don't believe in just blindly just having a bunch of kids because of faith. Makes no sense to me. I need to make sure to be that I would be able to take care of these kids, not just do it and then hope for the best. The Gutty Skeptic says, right. And we know how religions like their adherents. Religions like them dumb, penurious, battered, and miserable. That and you know what? If they're not miserable, then they don't need to keep coming to church to like pray for more. If you have too many people that are well, are healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, they're not always like, I just have to do more. I need to be more pious. I need, just pray harder. No, you don't have to do that. So just like the doctors don't really want a bunch of well people, I don't think the churches want a bunch of balanced people. Towards the bottom, God will provide. The seed of poverty continues. May it yield more fruits for their church with its accompanying wahala, and may it remain their exclusive burden to bear. I say. I don't want more seeds of poverty. I really don't. I don't want more people to just have babies and then just hope for the best. I want people to be intentional. One of the things that I say is family planning is financial planning. These men that just want other men to go out there and put their, spread their sperm, spread their sperm, are not really giving a damn about the kids that are being created. They don't. They can't give a damn because these men can actively spread their sperm, but no one is really talking about actually raising these people. It just becomes the burden on the moms, and that's it. And that's why this type of rhetoric kind of disgusts me. Y'all jump in. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this was posted in my BurbNBougie subreddit. She says, boycotting men. She says, anyone else have a natural aversion to stuff made by men? I've started to feel this natural repulsion to stuff made by men, but more specifically, therapy or advice given by men. Movies, books, podcasts, except books highly recommended by other women like Why Does He Do That? Which I just started and is great. Anyway, I've been feeling this ick towards men's, and I'm kind of done supporting their horrid advice. Should we start boycotting male? Okay, so think back to the movies that you have watched over the years. I have watched how movies have shifted over the years because I am 43 and I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And back in the day, most of the directors in movies were written by men. So when you would see women like, throwing things and being so mad, and that's how they portrayed women. But then as I became an adult, what is deadlier is a woman that is silent. A silent woman is a plotting woman, and a woman that is still engaging and being angry, that woman is still involved in that relationship. So that's just one example of the portrayal of women. And then romance novels and fairy tales and rom-coms written by men have always, to me, well, not always, but when you look back at them as an adult, I'm like, this is implausible. Some of the nookie scenes, and I'm like, a man wrote this because this is completely illogical. There's absolutely nothing that would satisfy a woman in this portrayal. It is just, some of the stuff is just kind of silly. But now that more women are writers and directors and have creative ways of expressing ourselves, and we can show things from our perspective, you can see the shift, you can see the difference. And I started watching shows and reading books from women for women, and the shift is so different. It's challenging because I used to read books from men, and once I started reading more books that were written for women about women's life, I can't go backwards. But I would definitely love to hear your perspective on this. Giselle says, I agree with your choice. Even some cartoons and games by men, I realize they use as mediums to traumatize children or promote weird things. Monsterize pregnancy, our body parts, portray women as monsters, our private areas. The OP says, right? If something feels icky, I look at who made it, and it's 100% a man. Men's brains are so twisted. I was super into Tony Robbins for a while because he does give very good advice at times. And then I watched one of his live seminars, and he told this lady to let her husband be the leader because men are natural leaders, and she's taken over, and that's why they have problems. Ugh. This was before I started watching BurbNBougie and other similar content creators. But nah, buddy, that's shit advice, and I've never stood for that kind of crap. At the time, I was very sad, but now I expect it. Okay, Hovercraft says, yep. And when I started decentering men last year, I unsubscribed from all male YouTube creators, except for a couple of them. But between then and now, those guys have given me reason to unsubscribe for them. One was a disability attorney in Florida who started to sound like an incel because he doesn't have a girlfriend. And instead of his videos being about disability cases, they became about him whining about being lonely. The other was a financial dude who seemed to give good advice, but at some point, the thumbnails on his videos got super misogynistic. So, yeah, my point is that even when I decided to give them a chance and not unfollow them simply because they are men, they proved me wrong. That's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. That's all I got. But yeah, truthfully, though, even when they are giving good advice, a lot of the times it doesn't get traction until you are coming for women. Once they get into that space of coming for women, that's when their numbers shoot up, their views shoot up. Okay, Hovercraft continues with, sorry to double comment. I just wanted to say that until 2020 came along, I actually believed that professionals would remain professional despite their personal views. Then I saw doctors lying online in 2020, and then everything just got so much worse. And now I understand why the personal injury case with the man who destroyed my ability to work went so badly. The male attorney I hired didn't fight for more because he felt I got enough. It wasn't enough to pay my medical bills and my attorney bills. It didn't even come close to making up for the lost wages for just 1 year. Now I understand he's a red hat and he was angry I was getting free money or whatever they rant about. Now I have to choose more wisely going forward. The OP says, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Now I take the stance that I don't trust any man and that they are all guilty of misogyny until they prove themselves innocent. I just expect them to be misogynist on some level. I've never been to a male gyno. Never, ever, never, ever. F that and hell no. We need to do the same in all aspects. Go to only women lawyers, doctors, therapists, etc. If they prove misogynist, move on from them too, because women can be super patriarchal centered as well. Yes, I was going to say that. I'm glad that she addressed that in the bottom because some women have been socialized. Actually, we've all been socialized in a patriarchy, but some women continue that going forward and still have internal misogyny to work through. Radical Mind says, I'm avoiding their rhetoric, advice, etc. altogether. I'm sick of them and their need to offer life hacks to women in the form of being shamed and chastised. They have all this energy to try to correct us, but are too scared to check each other. They are mad at the bear scenario while simultaneously admitting they are scared of men as well. And then this one, I said, this is a good conversation starter. And I'm going to post this because we do need to talk about this. Women are moving towards, centering more spaces for women, centering more women businesses, catering to women's needs. And I am here for it. I'm not saying that I would never go to a man because sometimes, the men are, there's a service that they need to provide. However, if and when you hear a hint of misogyny, sexism, anything that is making your spidey senses go off, then it needs to be checked. And then you need to find a provider of services that works better for you and for what you're looking for. Anyways, jump into the comments. Let me know what you think about this. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. So the bear conversation has made it to the BurbNBougie subreddit. So I'm going to read you the post, and then the discussion that was popping off on my subreddit was very interesting. We already know what the bear versus man conversation is, but just to reiterate, Would you rather be in the woods with a bear? I mean, a man or a bear? Question needs to be clarified as would you rather run the risk of being essayed or mauled to death? A bear won't bother me unless it's hungry or I'm near its cubs. Men will bother women because they feel entitled to our body, time, etc. That was the title, a big title. The body of the post. So effing many people are missing the point of this question. Women know they can't take a bear in a fight. It's not about fighting. It's about choosing the less traumatizing option. If you get attacked by a man, people will victim blame the shit out of you. I can freeze up and play dead with the bear. Men will see you being unresponsive and keep graping you. Not all men. Cool, great. Can the men who would wear signs proclaiming them rapists though? No. Then I can't take that risk. A bear will rip out my entrails and eat them for nourishment, while the man would make me suffer for his own sadistic enjoyment. Women are being quite clear. Women know and understand that a bear is just being a bear, but a man is in his human nature. We don't know what that man is going to do. We don't know which one is a not all man and which one is the safe one. Even men know this. All right, so some of the comments under the BurbNBougie subreddit. It's amusing that the comments are missing the point. We can literally Google stats about grape, unaliving, violence, and know that men are significantly more than bears or any wild animal for that matter. They are also more than women. I'm tired of this not all men Obviously, it's not all men, but it's too damn many. Grape and unaliving should be rare. We should hear about it and actually have some kind of holy seriously type of reaction. Rape and murder on the regular here, and it's global. In fact, bear maulings are more interesting because of how infrequent they are. I think most of us are desensitized to the shootings right now. Okay, so this is a man, a black man. He says, I have heard this phrase, you're one of the good ones, from a white woman. Does she mean man or a person of color? Could you explain to me so I know if she's racist or trying to get me to understand empathy and fear? So, this is what they do. They come in here and then they ask these questions that are made to derail. How would any random woman know what this other woman was thinking when she asked that question? What is even the point of this? Canoodle Candy says, not sure, but I'd rather deal with a racist woman than an aggressive man any day of the week. I'm also a person of color. And then he says, stereotypically, men of color are seen as aggressive. So we have all dealt with that label at some point in our lives. Assuming all men to be aggressive is akin to assuming all people of color are criminals or all white people are racist. You can call it what you want, but it doesn't make it any less misandrous or a form of hate speech. So they come into our spaces and they get in their fields, like the other person said, with zero introspection at all. They know what it's like to be one of the minorities that's targeted. They just don't want women to talk about it. So this person says it's really embarrassing because if you ask them to choose between the bear and men for their daughters, they hesitate and start stuttering. That's what I've been doing because none of them have been able to say the man without caveats. The men in my family, men like me, some of them I know personally, and they definitely don't have an ounce of introspection because one of them that said they used to record girls in college and sell the tapes. So they know how grimy some men are because some of them are the grimy men. And then Aaron, Sun in the Light says, it's interesting that to deny or counter the real and documented insecurity women have around men, racism and racial statistics are used. The most disingenuous and ahistorical whataboutisms I've witnessed in a while. That is very true. We start talking about things that women have gone through, and then they shift and derail into talking about, well, what about black people? What if you happen to be black and a woman? Can we talk about this from our perspective as well? Even I'm still going with the bear because I know the statistics regardless. I know where the threats really lie. All right, the man again. When has dehumanizing the group you're trying to engage with ever prompted positive discussions? And he continues with all of these questions. That's the reason why engaging with these people is quite pointless, because they don't really ever address what women are saying. They just keep asking more questions. That's why honestly it's best not to engage them. Like when I did comment to him at the bottom, I'm not really trying to engage him or trying to have a positive discussion with them, because they're not ready for a positive discussion. It's pointless. He says, if I walk up to a cop and say, so walking through the woods, would I rather see a bear than a cop? The cop is going to be insulted first and foremost. This isn't about who is the greatest victim, which some of you don't understand. It's about how to gain allies to your cause. It isn't by dehumanizing people. Could you rephrase the question without an animal, or can we just admit to be if it's meant to be offensive? That's the reason why I said, what is the point in this? He's not going to change a whole conversation that has been going viral. He just wants to be a victim. That's why I was like, some of y'all are such victims. I wish y'all would shut the F up and pontificate on why so many women keep choosing the bear versus running into our spaces. I really wish men would just go talk to men outside of women's spaces and try to create something, like, instead of trying to bring our awareness level down. I don't know what their point is. Why are they engaging us? Do they want us to not be so afraid of them? Do they want us to take it down a notch? I don't get the point of engaging us, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Women know that we need to keep our heads on a swivel in order to remain safe. So, ladies, don't engage. Don't do all of this. And I really should go back and block the men that have showed up on my page. I really should, because what is the point? But a woman does respond. She says, if anything, you're the one who's not engaging in anything but merely wanting your feelings to be coddled and be told that you're not like the other guys. Here's your cookie. Next time, instead of F wit, I'll use contemptible, as you seem to be more pressed about the tone of the discussion than the core issue here. Allyship is not to be gained. You either are concerned and empathetic or you're not, period. And with that, I'm going to end this discussion. I just wanted to put it out there on why you have got to stop talking to them so much, because they don't want to talk. They just want you to pat them on. You are not one of the bad ones. No, 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 not on me. No, no, no. Just, just act like that. We're not here to coddle these MFers at all. All right, jump in the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.